it's really important to recognize what environment are employees coming from, whether they're new grads, whether they've been out in the workforce 10, 15, even 20 years. What is it that they value? What are the social needs that they have? And then how can that be interpreted into an effective workplace practice?
Hi, it's John Bernatovich, your host of the HR Like a Boss podcast. Welcome to Season 3. I've embarked on a journey to get to know amazingly awesome HR and business professionals with the hope of finding what it takes to do HR like a boss. If you like the show, please like, subscribe, and share with a friend. On today's show, I'm super excited to have Sue Haywood. Sue was connected to me by a mutual contact that we both have, and I'm super excited to have Sue on the show. She's coming to us live from that great country north of the United States, Canada. So say hello to Sue Haywood, all of our listeners that are out there. And Sue, welcome to the HR Like a Boss podcast.
Thanks so much for having me today, John.
How would you describe your perspective of what's most important and how HR should view its purpose?
Oh, that's a great question. So for me, I think HR is really they're almost the sort of go-between between management and employees. And in some ways, they can become translators in terms of this is what employees want and need in order to be effective. And this is what the business wants and needs in order to be effective. And great HR people put the two together in a really, powerful plan and program that allows everyone to do what they love successfully.
How do you see this change in the labor market impacting how leaders manage people?
Well, as much as I think it's been challenging for a lot of folks, I think end of day, it's going to be an amazing almost evolution or revolution in the workforce. It's really focusing on what is it employees want and what do employers need to do to attract them. Gone are the days of we'll just throw money at them and pay more and we'll be able to get whoever just by paying more. Money isn't enough. If you're going to compete on money, you're going to be spending tens of thousands of dollars more every year in order to just compete on money. What organizations, especially small organizations, need to do is really rethink how can we create a positive, psychologically safe work environment where people want to contribute, want to do their best, and want to see the company succeed. And that's in everyone's best interest.
So around this, like management and different needs, definitely the variation between what a baby boomer is looking at from a generational difference to what Gen Z is looking at. How would you categorize those differences and the impact it's having on your clients?
Oh, I think that's actually the number one cause of a lot of, we hear this concept of quiet quitting. It's not a new concept. Those of us in HR are well aware of people who have had these behaviors before. And it's this idea of not feeling like employees can leave for whatever reason. And so they're not happy with how they get treated. And this is how they feel that they can demonstrate some control. It really stems from how the social environment that has created employees has evolved. Baby boomers grew up in an entirely different generation, went to an entirely different school system, entirely different experiences than what we're seeing with millennials, Gen Z. Think about how much more inclusive a school environment is in this day and age. All about group work, all about partnership, all about, autonomy, flexibility. And then we expect these people to go into a workplace that's still based on, values that are held dearly by baby boomers. It doesn't align. It's really important to recognize what environment are employees coming from, whether they're new grads, whether they've been out in the workforce 10, 15, even 20 years. What is it that they value? What are the social needs that they have? And then how can that be interpreted into an effective workplace practice?
All right. So the podcast is called HR Like a Boss, which you've been a great guest on so far, Sue. The upcoming book that'll come out in the summer of 2023 is called HR Like a Boss. So I'd like to get all guests of the show out by answering this one final question. How would you describe someone that does HR Like a Boss?
I would call them, first and foremost, a strategic problem solver, right? From a business perspective, you're always trying to get more from your resources. How can you do that from a people perspective? It's, obviously through engagement, through, autonomy, flexibility, increasing that creativity of folks. But it's really that ability to step back and say, what is it we're trying to achieve? Why? And understanding the need for that rationale.
What'd you think, Sue? Did you have fun on the show?
I did. Thanks again very much. It's always great to, have these discussions with like-minded individuals. So thank you again for inviting me.
Thank you for listening to the HR Like a Boss podcast. If it resonates with you, please leave a rating or review, or better yet, subscribe and share with a friend. Until next time, let's continue to aspire to do amazingly awesome HR.